He's operating without fear.
TLC says that they are permitted to give out parking tickets. Metro Police says they can respond to criminal investigations. Do you think there is a loophole here?
The push to get city leaders to step in. Stuck. The absolute gridlock thanks to a global software outage felt right here in the mid-state. Fox 17 News at 9 starts now.
Middle Tennessee's only primetime news. This is Fox 17 News at 9, your Code Red station.
New tonight, people around the world still dealing with the fallout from a global IT outage. It impacted businesses, airlines, hospitals, and emergency services. All of this when cybersecurity giant CrowdStrike suffered a malfunction with its software.
Everything was already booked.
Well, frustration after the CrowdStrike outage impacted countless flights at the Nashville International Airport. As Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilera shows us, the backlog of all the cancellations still affecting passengers.
The technical issues caused confusion, anxiety, and now irritation for passengers who expected to fly out today.
Long lines and frustration at Nashville's International Airport, starting in the early morning hours, primarily with Delta, American, United, and Allegiant, according to an airport official.
It was a little hectic when we woke up. We were checking all our information, trying to find our boarding passes, which were no longer available to us.
Towards the afternoon, a spokesperson tells us Allegiant was the only one trying to get their systems back online after the outage. It could be several days before we see how many flights were impacted. Morgan Miller was planning to travel to Florida.
Turns out it's canceled, so now I have to go till Monday, and then so the Monday flight's canceled and it's Friday, and then I have to go back on Friday.
She's not the only one that has to wait. Dozens of flights from other airlines were backlogged, like Spirit. Their kiosks not working either, adding to the long lines.
It's a long wait.
Everything was already booked. When we tried talking about them earlier, because of the Microsoft issue, we couldn't even rebook throughout the day.
As some people try to keep a positive outlook, most can't afford to wait.
With my job, I could only get 3 days off for work. So they made it for 8 a.m. tomorrow, and I couldn't make that work.
BNA spokesperson tells me that every airline is now up and running. Reporting in Nashville, Karen Aguilera, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Joining us now to talk through all the implications of this cybersecurity expert and former FBI agent Scott Augenbaum. Scott, thanks for being here.
Hey, so good to see you. None of my friends at CrowdStrike are returning my calls today. I don't know what's going on.
Sure. Well, you know, Homeland Security is saying that this was not a cyber attack. Do you think there would be transparency if it was?
Yeah, I do not believe that this was a cyber attack. This was a major outage, which had the same effect of a cyber attack. They updated some software. It was incompatible, and major systems all over the world crashed as a result of it. It had the same results.
Well, does today's outage pose security concerns? For at the very least, demonstrate how easy it could be to take out entire networks across so many industries all at once if perhaps someone did have malicious intentions?
Absolutely. It shows the interdependency of these connected networks. Now, let's just stop and think about it. This is a software update. The nation states, the cyber criminals would love to get into the code of companies like CrowdStrike, Microsoft, AT&T, and put bad malicious code into it so it would knock out these systems. These things could happen. That's why we have to really be careful. These companies need to be stepping up their game, and we need to be stepping up our game to prepare if these things happen to us and our company.
Yeah, watching the events unfold today, all from a software update glitch. How can something be so widespread, and what would you be telling companies? I know that you're contracted as a cybersecurity expert. After today's events, what would you tell companies on how to be proactive to keep this from taking them offline?
Well, and sometimes we completely rely on systems that's out of our controls. Let's think about it. A couple of years ago, AT&T went down in Nashville. What was I going to do? I had to rely on them. We need to start thinking about the backup plans. And for you as an organization, you have to really, think how it's going to impact your customers. Are you prepared? It could be a natural disaster. It could be a cyber attack. It could be a software update. What are you doing to test your systems just in case they go down? And this is a great time for these crisis communications companies because they need to be working to get the message out.
All right, some good advice. Certainly some things to think about here. Retired FBI agent Scott Augenbaum, thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too. Well, we want to know what happened to you. So our poll asks, are you off work today because your office has been impacted by the global IT outage? Almost 300 people weighing in. Most people not affected. 90.1% say no. 9.9% say yes. This poll is live right now. To cast your vote, you can scan the QR code. It's right there up on your screen. It will take you over to our X page. Our handle is @Fox Nashville, and we'll show you updated poll results here a little later in the newscast. In Operation Crime and Justice, the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office investigating a shots fired call after a chase leads to a crash. The Sheriff's Department says a deputy investigating a stolen vehicle on College Street got into an altercation with the driver. The deputy ended up opening fire. The Sheriff's Department says the suspect drove off with the passenger inside. That driver later crashed. Deputies arrested the driver and took the driver and the passenger to the hospital. Continuing Operation Crime and Justice, Murfreesboro police investigating a deadly hit and run involving a bicyclist. Police arresting Isaiah Isom from officers. They say that the 41-year-old man hit a person on a bike and then took off. Officers also said Isom had a revoked license after a previous DUI and tried to get a woman to say that she was actually the one driving. Police right now not releasing the name of the victim.
The TLC says that they are permitted to give out parking tickets. Metro Police says they can respond to criminal investigations. Do you think there is a loophole here?
Continuing coverage, Fox 17 News going right to Metro leaders after discovering there may be a loophole with enforcing taxi regulations. Nashville taxi companies are begging for help as unlicensed cabs continue to operate downtown. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller joining us live in Midtown after pressing city leaders for a solution.
Yes, Megan. Well, both Metro Councilman Jacob Coupin and a cab company owner say that this problem could be resolved if the TLC and Metro Police work alongside cab companies and their drivers. But right now, we're seeing some gray areas. Akrem Hassan, owner of Music City and Checker Cabs, showed us how they track their taxis 24/7 with a GPS.
Let's say something happened 2 days ago.
Hassan says that's why it's critical to pay attention to your taxi number.
As point by point, from point 1, point 2, point 3.
But Hassan says since there's so many unlicensed cabs downtown, you can't track them or hold them accountable. Fox 17 News attended TLC's meeting Thursday on the issue, and we've done countless follow-ups trying to figure out how enforcement can improve. The TLC says they're only permitted to give out parking tickets. Metro Police say they will respond to criminal investigations, but don't handle civil cases. Do you think there is a loophole here?
I think that there's always a challenge when you have Metro ordinances and crimes and trying to figure out that pathway through.
Metro Council member Jacob Coupin explains that TLC can suspend or revoke licenses of drivers who aren't following the rules. Those drivers must be permitted by the TLC. But Coupin says the TLC cannot do this with unlicensed taxi drivers. Coupin does say NDOT has control over the roads and has some enforcement rights, but he explains this could be a bigger issue.
There are certain things that maybe are not in state law that need to be in state law, right? So if it was a misdemeanor, for example, to impersonate a rideshare operator, right? 15 years ago, the word rideshare operator wasn't even used.
Coupin emphasizes if it was a misdemeanor to impersonate a rideshare operator, then Metro Police could play more of a role in enforcement efforts. Now, Fox 17 News did reach out to some lawmakers about this issue, and we will keep you updated both here on the air and online as we hear more. For now, reporting live from Midtown, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Into breaking news now out of Putnam County, and that's where a Tennessee trooper, we've learned, has been shot along I-40. Sources telling Fox 17 News that right now they're looking for a white Kia in connection with the gunfire. We do not know the trooper's condition at this hour. Now, the section of I-40 between Baxter and Cookeville remains shut down on the east side. Fox 17 News right now working to gather more information about what exactly led up to the shooting. All right, heading into the weekend, how's it looking, Katie?
Stormy, it's looking like here. The good news is, we do. It's the weekend, so you want to be, able to get out and about. But the good news is I don't think we're going to be raining all weekend long. So hopefully some of you will get some good rain that you need, and then throughout other parts of the day will be dry. I do expect tonight to be looking at a partly cloudy sky. We are cooling off nicely. Again, overnight should be dropping into those low 70s, if not a few 60s on the map for tomorrow morning. Front is to our south here, but it's going to hang out close to us, and it is going to be what offers us more cloud cover as we go through Saturday and Sunday, and the potential for some showers as well, as it really is a stationary boundary. It's not going to go very far for the next couple of days. A little lively downtown on Broadway for tonight. Our temperature sitting at about 77 degrees, comfortable compared to where we've been over the past couple of days. So we welcome the 70s with open arms. We should drop back to about 70 here in Nashville, if not the upper 60s, especially outside of city centers. Clarksville around 67, as well as Dickson. Murfreesboro around 69. We'll walk you through the timing for some of these showers that we could find as we head towards the weekend. That coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
Coming up next, the remarkable story of a 75-year-old middle.
Fox 17 News Farrier Files is sponsored by Bart Durham Injury Law.
A 75-year-old Middle Tennessee missionary doing amazing things for war orphans in Ukraine. He's done it with the generous help of Fox 17 News viewers. Dennis Farrier has that story in tonight's Farrier Files.
A Ukrainian bishop is now personally thanking Fox 17 and you, our wonderful viewers, for changing the lives of orphans in the Ukraine. Just another surprise in this amazing story.
Okay, let's see, we need medium girl. 75-year-old pastor Stu Martin has spent a lifetime in war zones helping orphans.
It's my calling, Dennis. God called me to help the unloved, the unwanted, disabled, and orphan children of the world.
Because I'm going to stuff those down on the sides.
We started telling the Wings of the Wind ministry story 2 years ago. A modest attempt to get winter clothes for 300 war orphans in the Ukraine right after the war started. You responded, showering this ministry with what it needed, whatever it needed. Hats, scarves, shoes, beds, orphanage remodeling money, heaters in the brutal winter. And now just 2 years later, the mission now serves 700 orphans. Pastor Stu just made his 5th successful trip.
We had some great things happen. I mean, the money that came in, Dennis, this past year, we bought 15 laptop computers at $500 a piece. We were able to get 6 not small window air conditioners, but the Samsung wall air conditioners. We had enough money to buy 6 wall air conditioners.
This mission is so successful, not to be disrespectful, but it just seems unlikely that a 75-year-old missionary with a team of a half dozen at the most could have made this kind of impact.
If you looked at it on paper, you say, this ain't going to work. But God seems to make it all work. And then the people have been giving, and the people have been wonderful in giving.
Right now, he's talking about you, the Shelbyville couple that gave $5,000. So many of you gave 150 socks, scarves, hats. Churches all over Middle Tennessee, local businesses too. Sorry we can't mention you all, but it all gave Stu a brilliant, simple idea.
If you want to do small, specific things for children, why not have a specific idea? And so Pastor Martin and Wings of the Wind have an idea. They would like 100 of you to give just $100 a year, and then have 20 churches give $500 a year, and then have 10 businesses give $1,000 a year. That would be enough money every year to help these kids, give them what they need, even if they really can't give them what they want the most.
Which is a family. This is a painting by an orphan who just had one finger. You can just see the love and beauty bursting from her heart.
And these kids are looking for homes. They're looking for love. They will love you. They will just tear your heart out. And know that you can't take them home, but I can sure help you make your life better here.
I think it's time to put my money where my mouth is. Go get them, Pastor Stu. I hope I'm the first one to sign up. If you'd like to help, we will put all of that on fox17.com. I'm Dennis Ferrier, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Fox 17 News Farrier Files is sponsored by Bart Durham Injury Law.
The weekend is so close, at least for us. I know you're already on your weekend, but we are going to be looking at some storms here as we go through the next couple of days. And again, not going to be a washout either day. It's just going to depend on where you are. We could find some heavy pockets of rain within some of these storms. But the good news is they will come and they will go. They will drop some heavy rain and then move on. With it too, cloud cover and temperatures won't be quite as hot. So we take a look at Saturday here, looking at 73 at 8 o'clock, 84 as we head into the noon hour. And we'll look at showers and storms to be possible mainly after lunchtime and then remain scattered throughout the rest of the afternoon. And we're going to basically carbon copy that for Sunday. May have a degree or two difference as far as the afternoon high goes, but temperatures will generally be in the upper 80s to around 90 for both Saturday and Sunday. We continue to see pretty interesting satellite imagery. This is actually the water vapor. I don't show this often, but when I do, it's usually because there's something cool to look at here. There's a sharp cutoff where the moisture supply is here and where it continues to stream in from the south. So anywhere you see this white and more so these blue colors, these are cloud tops indicating how much moisture is in the clouds. And so this is just showing us where we have a little bit of rain to our south in Alabama, and also just more of the moisture cut off by much drier air to our west. So with that said, we'll continue to see pretty humid conditions as we head into tomorrow with the stationary boundary being stationary. So we're not going to see too much of a clearing out. We've actually felt pretty comfortable today because we're right on that edge of the drier to more humid air. But I expect more of that humid air to return tomorrow. So the sultry air will be around as we head through both days here. Saturday, we'll look at a couple clouds for the morning hours and a few showers that'll be possible. I mentioned though the better chance of rain developing as we head into the afternoon. Moderate to heavy pockets here or there possible for us. And these could drop a quick inch of rain, which again, I know a lot of us need. So hopefully you win the rain lottery this weekend. 4 p.m. on, you can see more of those showers clearing out, and then overnight into early Sunday morning, we are looking at once again a few showers in the morning, better chance as we head towards the afternoon. And that trend continues as we head into the mid to late part of the afternoon and more so into the evening hours for Sunday and into Monday. By Monday, we will start to see another system move in, and that's going to offer us an even better chance for showers and storms area wide. We'll have a look at that coming up.
Will President Biden end his run for re-election and step down from the campaign? It's a question that Democrats are asking. Fox 17 News' Matt Gelka looks at where things stand. And by the way, you can vote on this issue by scanning that QR code that will appear here shortly on your screen during the story.
A flood of bad headlines have all painted the same picture. President Joe Biden might be close to calling it quits on his re-election bid. But with each new headline, another message from the Biden campaign. He's staying in.
Absolutely, the president's in this race. You've heard him say that time and time again. I'm not here to say that this hasn't been a tough several weeks for the campaign. There's no doubt that it has been. And we've definitely seen some slippage in support, but it has been a small movement.
More congressional Democrats called for the president to step aside Friday, and other big names in the party, including former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer have all reportedly brought their concerns directly to Biden. Jeffries said Friday, though, he was still backing the president.
President Biden, as I've said repeatedly, is our nominee. He has a tremendous track record of success. He's one of the most accomplished American presidents in our history. And he has the vision, I believe, the ability, the capacity, and the track record to make a case to the American people that will result in us being successful in November.
Biden also has another ally, outspoken New York progressive Democrat Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
People underestimate Biden's performance. I think that is how he became president, is through a lot of people underestimating his performance.
Biden released a statement after Donald Trump's Republican nomination speech, saying in part he was looking forward to getting back on the campaign trail next week. Next week is also a big week politically for President Biden, as he's expected to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, while the cloud of uncertainty about his political future still likely hangs over that meeting. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.
During that story, we had a QR code posted up with this poll asking, do you think President Biden should end his re-election bid? The results on your screen here, 52.6% say yes, 47.4% say no. Still to come tonight, in Operation Crime and Justice, a Murfreesboro man accused in the deadly Easter brunch mass shooting now faces federal gun charges. Anton Rucker is a convicted felon and cannot have a gun. He's accused of opening fire at Roasted Bistro in the Salemtown area of Nashville Easter Sunday. One man died and several others were hurt. Every 40 seconds, someone here in the U.S. has a stroke. Receiving medical care right away is critical, but researchers discover disparities when it comes to which patients get that care. Fox 17 News' Amanda Chin looks at what needs to change.
It happens when something blocks blood supply to part of the brain or when a blood vessel ruptures. And a stroke can impact a survivor's life long after the initial attack.
And more than 50% of patients will have disabilities after stroke.
Dr. Shumei Mann with Cleveland Clinic says because of that, post-stroke care is critical. National stroke guidelines recommend patients have adequate resources for rehabilitation and other care to help with things like physical disability, mental health issues, and the loss of independence. But in a new large study, Dr. Mann and other researchers discovered that not everyone in the U.S. receives the same amount of care after a stroke.
In real world, it's more often heavily affected by non-clinical factors, including age, race, sex, and insurance, as well as geographic location.
Researchers found that 49% of Hispanic ischemic stroke patients were discharged without home health care, compared to 42% of white patients. And only 29% of Hispanic patients were sent to a rehabilitation or skilled nursing facility, compared to nearly 37% of white and black patients.
I think the policymakers should pay attention to this population and try to provide health insurance to them.
Amanda Chin for Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, the study also found uninsured patients were less likely to receive post-acute care. For the study, researchers used U.S. hospital data involving more than 1 million stroke patients in 2017 and 2018. Doctors say this is the largest study to date on the topic.
The weekend is here and thought we would take a look at the boating forecast for tomorrow. And we're just looking at Saturday as far as temperatures go. This is at 10 o'clock, right around 81. I think we're looking dry in the morning to midday, but after lunchtime, we will start to see some spot showers around. You may get lucky as far as dry weather goes, or if we do see some of those showers, they should come and go. But temperature is not looking too bad. We're in the upper 80s all the way through the afternoon. Also thought we'd take a look at the lake temperatures here. So I went and researched. These are our area lakes and what the current surface water temperature is. So nice and warm for Percy Priest at 82, Kentucky Lake right around 80 degrees, Center Hill at 82 with Dale Hollow and Old Hickory both in the low 80s as well. And again, mentioning the chance for a few showers and storms both days here. Great way to stay up to date, especially when you're out on the water and especially when it comes to lightning, is our Fox 17 Code Red weather app. It'll actually push alerts to you when there is lightning nearby.
So again, very important when you're out and about, especially on the water, to have these push alerts that'll be sent to your phone given where your location is, wherever you are. It'll follow you with your location. So again, rain showers off and on throughout the weekend. We could definitely use some rain. It has been dry for much of July. To talk more about that, here's meteorologist Brett Luna.
If you were watching earlier this week, I talked about the drought and how it's not looking too good for us right now. So back in June, none of Tennessee was in any drought classification. That's this map right here. When I slide this blue bar over, that puts us to the current map. This map came out on Thursday, and it shows 70% of the state now in some sort of drought classification, all the way from abnormally dry to extreme drought. So I wanted to go into a little bit more detail on what got us here. So back in May, everything was looking good here in Nashville. We got more than 7 inches of rain in May. Our average is very close to 5 inches. And then June happened, and it was really dry. And July hasn't been any better either. Over the past 30 days, most of Middle Tennessee has picked up between a ½ inch to 3 inches of rain. Areas near the Tennessee and Kentucky state line have seen the most rain. Most of Middle Tennessee has only picked up 5 to 25% of normal rainfall. For June here in Nashville, we had just a little over 2.5 inches of rain. Our normal is close to 4.5 inches. And for July, so far, we've had only a little less than a ½ inch of rain in Nashville. Our normal by this time is a little over 2.5 inches.
Coming up this week on Full Measure, when a ship crashed into and destroyed a major bridge in Baltimore, Maryland, the Biden administration made big promises to help. But how did those pledges turn out in the long run? Scott Thuman returns to the site of the major train derailment in Ohio more than a year ago to find out. What was behind the major recall of CPAP machines that millions of people use to sleep better, and why are there new concerns? We'll speak with the producer of a documentary that investigated. And the author of the thought-provoking book, Lies I Taught in Medical School.
Titans training camp gets underway in just 4 days, and head coach Brian Callahan is expecting all his players to pick up where they left off in the offseason. Every player was given a summer program to follow, including second-year quarterback Will Levis. Levis took time to hone in on his footwork this offseason and will look to continue that in camp next week. But the most important thing coach wants to see from his quarterback, his urgency.
For him, the most important part is keeping that urgency and tempo in how he plays. You know, keep playing faster, keep playing with more confidence, and that comes with more reps. I really was happy with how he progressed, learning a brand new way of playing football this year, and there's going to be plenty more reps in training camp in the preseason, and the key is to be ready to roll in September playing at the speed that you got to play at.
Coach Callahan mentioned Levis learning a new brand of football. That's the Titans' new look offense. No more run-first offense and no more Derrick Henry. Instead, it will be a pass-heavy offense that will feature a lot of explosive plays. Titans ranked at the bottom of the league last season in total yards and passing yards per game, and they're hoping this new system will change that right away.
A lot of scoring. A lot of the install clips we see is just a lot of explosive plays, efficient plays, touchdowns, and I just feel like it's going to come with reps. Like the more and more reps I get at all these different concepts and stuff, we're going to be able to see more and more of those explosive plays, and when we go out there on Sunday, we'll hopefully put up a bunch of points.
Players will report to camp on Tuesday, and then the very first practice is set for Wednesday. College football season just over a month away, and today the media voted on the SEC preseason poll where Georgia and Texas were picked as the favorites to meet in the SEC championship. Now, this is the first year Oklahoma and Texas are joining the conference, and also the first year that the SEC decided to get rid of the West and East divisions. Now, the two teams with the best records will meet in the championship game in December. So as I mentioned, Georgia and Texas are the favorites by the media poll to play in that championship game. As for the Tennessee Vols, well, they were picked to finish 7th in the conference, and then the Commodores, unfortunately, over here 16th, picked to finish last in the conference, 16 out of 16 teams. As for the Crimson Tide, they will be without legendary coach Nick Saban for the first time in 17 years. And today, the school announced it will be naming the football field after him. The stadium will continue to be called the Bryant-Denny Stadium, but its field will soon be called Saban Field, and that ceremony will take place September 7th. Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
Up next, a live update on a Tennessee trooper shot on I-40 tonight and the search for the suspects.
And coming up, we'll talk more about rain, not only.
Breaking news out of Putnam County tonight, and that is where a Tennessee trooper has been shot along I-40. Sources telling Fox 17 News that they are looking for a white Kia in connection to the gunfire. And this is a look at the car that police are looking for right now. Investigators say 2 black men with facial tattoos are driving the vehicle. If you see it, please call 911. And here's a live look over Vanderbilt University Medical Center. This is where sources say the unnamed trooper has been taken for their injuries. The trooper reported to be in stable condition. We're reaching out to police and THP to bring you another update in just minutes on Fox 17 News at 10. Well, nearly everyone has at least one social media account. Some of those pages contain a treasure trove of personal information. Fox 17 News' Angie Moreski looks at how crooks are taking advantage and what social media companies are doing to protect you in tonight's Spotlight on America report.
California mom Sonia Gomez was the victim of a Facebook takeover.
They had sent me something like at 2 in the morning saying that there was a login in Hong Kong.
Within hours, hackers falsely posted she had a new job at crypto.com and was helping people make big money.
Every time I would report it, they would respond like they don't see nothing wrong with this page.
It turned into a several-month ordeal to regain control of her own page.
Facebook will do absolutely nothing about it. Look at this.
Scott Vreeland of Georgia also says Facebook wouldn't help him when his deceased brother's account was hacked. Sean Vreeland was a disabled Army veteran. After he died of a heart attack in 2022, scammers took over his account, using it to pitch yet another cryptocurrency scam.
My brother was a hardworking man. He was honest. He was a veteran, and he really deserves to rest with a clean name and rest in peace.
Unfortunately, Vreeland and Gomez are far from alone. Earlier this year, a bipartisan group of 41 state attorneys general sent a letter to Meta, Facebook and Instagram's parent company, demanding immediate action to address what they called a dramatic and persistent spike in complaints about account takeovers and lockouts. No matter how frustrated you get, unfortunately, there's not much you can do, even if a social media platform won't take down fraudulent information. Those lengthy terms of service agreements most of us just click and accept are packed with legalese that overwhelmingly give the companies an edge if you try to sue.
We want to be able to shield people's identities from this kind of theft that happens online.
Orlando area Representative Darren Soto is pushing for Congress to do more to regulate social media giants. In April, he introduced the SHIELD Act to give social media users more legal rights to get platforms to take down false information and potentially sue if the companies don't do it in a timely fashion. Why is this taking so long?
Well, there's a lot of powerful interests. There's a lot of disagreement. Some politics gets in the way. It's Congress's inaction that's the biggest problem right now.
Spotlight on America contacted Meta about the rise in complaints over account takeovers. A spokesperson didn't answer our specific questions, but sent a statement saying, "We know that losing and recovering access to your online accounts can be a frustrating experience. We invest heavily in designing account security systems to help prevent account compromise in the first place." Little comfort for social media users like Sonia, whose friend ended up being scammed by the hackers out of $15,000. It wasn't until our Spotlight partner, KMPH in Fresno, contacted Facebook on Sonia's behalf that the platform finally gave her back control of her own page. For Spotlight on America, I'm Angie Moreski.
And Angie tells us the brother of veteran Sean Vreeland ended up filing a lawsuit against Facebook to get their attention. Vreeland says that finally, after 8 months, and the social media giant memorialized his brother's account this April.
Not too bad out there temperature-wise this evening. We've been sitting in the upper 70s, and folks on Broadway out and about enjoying the evening as well. Comfortable, we'll call it. But as we head into tomorrow, we will be looking at a mostly cloudy sky and a couple shower chances as we build towards the afternoon. So morning hours shouldn't be too bad. We're going to leave it with just a stray shower chance, but we should climb into those mid-70s as we head towards 9 o'clock with a mainly sunny to partly cloudy sky as we head through the morning. More of that cloud cover, I think, kind of builds in as we head towards the afternoon. We take you through the overnight with Future Track. I mentioned the stationary boundary doing just that. It's just going to hang around, which will keep cloud cover around for tomorrow. In fact, probably more partly to mostly cloudy for tomorrow morning. A couple showers can't be ruled out for the morning hours, but as we head towards the afternoon, notice that by the evening hours it lifts northward, so that keeps us socked in with cloud cover. That'll help keep temperatures down a little bit, but we'll also keep some showers and storms around for us as well. As we head into Saturday night, early Sunday, you can see that we're still looking at the stationary boundary around, which keeps the storm chances alive and well, and we'll continue to have at least the potential to drop a few moderate to heavy pockets. Another piece of good news, severe weather does not look to be a problem for us as we head through the afternoon. Into Monday, bigger system will be arriving from the west, and this will sweep through and bringing us showers and thunderstorms. And again, severe weather right now does not look to be a problem even through Monday evening and into early Tuesday morning. So this is a look at our rainfall totals, what we could potentially see. It wouldn't take the exact number to the bank, but gives you an idea that a good inch to 2 inches could be possible in some spots over the course of several days. So this takes us all the way up to Tuesday, where it'll just depend on where some of these showers decide to set up. And I think we could easily see a couple training storms, meaning the storms are stationary as well, and they dump quite a bit of rainfall in a short amount of time, maybe 1-2 inches in a short period, maybe a 32 hour time period. So just keep that in mind as well. But again, severe weather, not a problem for us here. Thought this was interesting too. Our temperature average for the day today is 91, and we're actually at the peak average high for the year. So between July 14th through August 11th, the average high is 91, and that is the top of our curve for the year. And after the 11th on August 12th, we will start to see that average fall all the way back down to December's average high, which is 49 degrees. So we are at the peak right now as far as the average high is concerned. And actually, temperatures should be right around average for the next 7 days, maybe even a little below average, especially as we head toward the middle of next week.
Well, keeping you up at night, the disease severely impacted by the lack of sleep. And treating yourself to a pizza, what you and most Americans are most likely picking its toppings.
Nearly 22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, are partnering.
In your health news, it appears your sleeping habits could be increasing your risk of developing diabetes. Irregular sleeping patterns put you at a 34% higher chance of getting type 2 diabetes. Researchers looked at sleep patterns of more than 84,000 people over the course of 7.5 years. They found that people whose sleep schedules changed by more than an hour each night were more at risk compared to those who had a steady sleep schedule. In your consumer news, pizza is an American favorite, of course, but what goes on top of it, well, that's up for debate. Black & Decker did a survey and found that 67% of people say that pepperoni is the fan favorite topping for pizza. Sausage came in second, bacon rounding out the top three. The survey also finds respondents say New York style is their favorite pizza style at 29%, followed closely by deep dish. Katie, what's your favorite?
I'm going to go New York style for sure.
New York?
Yeah, pizza or pepperoni's good. I like sausage. You do a custom order, sausage, green pepper, and black olive.
Oh, that's a good, yeah, I like that combo.
Yeah, that's our huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. I've never had bad pizza.
Nope.
Well, an uncertain future, how Americans feel about their retirement prospects. Says employer-sponsored retirement funds are averaging about $134,000, but Americans need $1.4 for $6 million to retire comfortably.
I'm Kayla Gaskins in Washington. Coming up, what whistleblowers are telling senators about the security breakdown the day that a shooter tried to assassinate former President Donald Trump.
This is Fox 17 News at 10, your Code Red station.
Fox 17 News at 10. We start tonight with breaking news out of Putnam County. I-40 eastbound remains shut down after a shooting involving a Tennessee trooper. Sources telling Fox 17 News that they are now looking for a white Kia in connection with the gunfire. And here's a picture of the vehicle wanted by THP. And right now, a live look from Vanderbilt Medical Center, where sources say that trooper was taken via life flight. We're told that trooper is in stable condition. Well, the section of I-40 between Baxter and Cookeville remains shut down on the eastbound side. Fox 17 News is working to gather more information about what led up to the shooting. And continuing coverage tonight, we are still feeling the impact of the CrowdStrike outage nationwide and right here in the mid-state. This includes Nashville International Airport. All day, we've seen grounded flights from several major airlines. The backlog of those cancellations continue affecting people. Well, several people telling Fox 17 News that their flights would not be rescheduled for several days. The chaos started in the early morning hours, primarily with Delta, American, United, and Allegiant Airlines. According to an airport official, Allegiant was the last one left to get their systems back online. All of this causing long lines and frustration.
Everything was already booked. When we tried talking to them about them earlier, because of the Microsoft issue, we couldn't even rebook throughout the day.
According to BNA, all airlines are up and running right now, and we won't know how many flights were canceled for several days. Well, what do you think? Earlier tonight, we told you about our X poll asking the question, are you off work today because your office has been impacted by the global IT outage? 310 people weighing in. 90.6% say no, dodged the drama and the chaos. 9.4% say, yeah, I was affected. Each night, look for a new poll on our X page that you can participate in. Okay, so here are the top things that you need to know about today's outage. It's impacting Windows users worldwide, not just personal computers, but businesses and even industries. As many flights remain grounded while the issue persists, cybersecurity company CrowdStrike takes responsibility for the outage, blaming a defect that it sent out as part of a Windows update. And finally, CrowdStrike says a fix has been sent out, but it could be a while until things are all back to normal. On Fox 17 News, later on, I'll sit down with a retired FBI agent as we try to uncover the impacts that this outage could have moving forward. And be sure to stay up to date on the status of the outage. Just head to our website, fox17.com, and search outage. In Operation Crime and Justice, a federal grand jury indicts a Murfreesboro man after a deadly mass shooting at a Salem town restaurant back on Easter Sunday. Anton Rucker is accused of opening fire at the Roasted Bistro in March, killing one man and hurting several others. Rucker is a convicted felon and should not be carrying a gun, prompting federal charges.
I think that there's always a challenge when you have metro ordinances and crime.
Continuing coverage, Fox 17 News going right to metro leaders after discovering that there may be a loophole when enforcing taxi regulations. Nashville taxi companies are continuing to push for change after major security concerns. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller joining us live in Midtown after pressing city leaders for a solution. Caitlin?
Yes, Megan. Well, we discovered some gray area after speaking with multiple metro agencies along with multiple cab companies about these unlicensed drivers. Now, today we spoke with Akrem Hassan, owner of Music City and Checker Cabs, who showed us how they track their taxis 24/7 with a GPS. But Hassan says since there's so many unlicensed cabs downtown, you can't track them or hold them accountable. Fox 17 News attended TLC's meeting Thursday on the issue, and we've done countless follow-ups trying to figure out how enforcement can improve. The TLC says that they're only permitted to give out parking tickets, and Metro Police say they will respond to criminal investigations but don't handle civil cases. Do you think there is a loophole here?
I think that there's always a challenge when you have metro ordinances and crimes and trying to figure out that pathway through.
Metro Council member Jacob Coupin explains the TLC can suspend or revoke licenses of drivers who aren't following the rules, but those drivers must be permitted by the TLC. Coupin says the TLC cannot do this with unlicensed taxi drivers. Coupin says that NDOT does have some control over the roads and can lead to some enforcement efforts, but he says this might be a bigger issue that has to actually do with state law. For now, reporting live from Midtown, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Starting off with a bit of cloud cover for tomorrow morning. The cloud cover will actually help keep temperatures down a few degrees, but not too bad as far as the morning goes, with temperatures in the low 70s. Again, mostly cloudy to partly cloudy sky. Sunrise right around 5:44 in the morning, and we'll find very light winds, if really any wind. Pretty stagnant day again with air movement. With the stationary boundary around, though, we will keep the clouds and a few showers possible for at least the morning hours. We'll have a better chance of rain developing as this front continues to lift northward as we head through the overnight. We will be looking at temperatures to be right around 70 for the evening hours here in Nashville. But outside of city centers, we could easily drop back into the mid 60s here. Clarksville and Hopkinsville right around 66 to 67 degrees, and mid to upper 60s for those out toward the plateau. Murfreesboro close to 70. We'll walk you through the rain chances that'll be with us for the weekend.
A Fox 17 health alert tonight over a new craze taking social media by storm. Fox 17 News' Angela Brown taking a closer look at the major health consequences of fake weight loss drugs.
Can you spot the difference? The Partnership for Safe Medicines posting these pictures on their website. One, an authentic Ozempic pen, the other, a fake one.
It's one of two things. Either it's an old insulin pen, which doesn't have semaglutide or tirzepatide, which is the active ingredient, and they've rewrapped the pen with the new labels to look like an Ozempic or a Zepbound, but you can't tell the difference.
Shabir Ember Safdar is the executive director for the Partnership of Safe Medicines, an organization tracking fake diabetes and weight loss injectables selling online and social media.
We've been tracking these counterfeit versions, and these are just the lookalikes. These are the perfect lookalikes that are usually insulin pens, and we found them in 17 countries around the world, and they've just started to see prosecutions.
Including right here in America. The DOJ arresting a Long Island woman for selling misbranded weight loss drugs, none approved for sale according to them on social media. In June, the World Health Organization warned that fake batches of Ozempic were found in the U.S., the U.K., and Brazil. And some fake Ozempic may contain insulin.
What can it do to you?
Well, taking insulin when you don't know you're taking insulin can drop your blood sugar, and everybody thinks, oh, am I just going to be hangry? No, you're going to be dead.
The FDA is also investigating fake Ozempic injections while warning the public not to use it. The National Association of Boards of Pharmacy said it has identified thousands of websites illegally selling drugs like Ozempic. In Washington, D.C., I'm Angela Brown.
I'm Kayla Gaskins in Washington. Coming up, what whistleblowers are telling senators about the security breakdown the day that a shooter.
Stocks tumbling on Wall Street Thursday. The Dow retreating from its record high hit on Wednesday. Meanwhile, the S&P 500 and NASDAQ fell as well. Stellantis is recalling nearly 20,000 plug-in hybrid minivans here in the U.S. Chrysler Pacificas from 2017 through 2021 are affected. Apparently, there's a potential problem with high-voltage battery packs that could cause a fire. The automaker is aware of a few such incidents and is now urging owners to park outside and away from any structures until the issue is repaired. Well, good news if house hunting is on your to-do list. Freddie Mac says the average rate on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage just dropped to 6.77%, its lowest level since March. And finally, a lot of Americans think they'll be rich someday. 1 in 3 surveyed by the website Wealth of Geeks say they have an idea they think could make them wealthy. And nearly 1 in 5 say they have a feeling they'll win big on the lottery or Powerball. Good luck to everyone that's business. I'm David Asman.
Continuing coverage, former President Trump getting ready to hold his first campaign rally since the attempted assassination. He'll be joined for the first time by his new running mate, J.D. Vance. And as Fox 17 News' Kayla Gaskins explains, the event will be held indoors.
What happened? The former president, now official GOP nominee, thanking the agents closest to him during his acceptance speech.
Bullets were continuing to fly as very brave Secret Service agents rushed to the stage and pounced on top of me so that I would be protected.
The shooter visited the rally site nearly a week before the event on an apparent scouting mission. He visited again the morning of the rally. The more we learn about Crooks' suspicious actions that day and the failures to alert Trump's immediate protection of the active threat, the more fingers are pointing at Secret Service leadership.
As we peel back the onion here, there do seem to be a number of blips on the screen that should have potentially allowed for some other actions or other interactions or other surveillance on this young man.
Senator Josh Hawley sending a letter to the director of the Department of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, claiming whistleblowers with direct knowledge of the event told him the July 13th rally was considered to be a loose security event. This means canines were not used at security. People were given access backstage without the usual clearance. There was less security personnel around the podium and the event perimeter.
The planning for this event, the resourcing for it, the leadership of the Secret Service is woefully deficient.
The whistleblowers also allege the majority of officers on site that day were Homeland Security investigations agents, not Secret Service agents. Senator Hawley points out this is important because the people on site were unfamiliar with the standards and protocols typically used. Lawmakers are still working to access 3 encrypted foreign platforms Crooks used.
The director of the Secret Service, Kimberly Cheadle, will be here on Capitol Hill Monday for a hearing with the House Oversight Committee. Lawmakers promising to demand answers. In Washington, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
Now here's a look at some of the headlines you should be keeping your eye on as NASCAR heads to Indianapolis this weekend. Ryan Blaney gets a win at Pocono, his 2nd of the season and the 4th of the year for Penske Racing.
They've got some good, some good groundwork now. They're good foundation to start, and they are going to be a force.
NASCAR holds a Goodyear tire test at Bristol. So are they any closer to avoiding the tire wear issues they had this spring?
Goodyear probably realized that the PJ1 was very helpful for the tire today. It seemed like it made it live a lot longer. The resin that they ran last time, it just doesn't seem to let the rubber lay down, and it just dusts up. So we could be able to run the same tire that we ran the last race with the PJ1 because it seemed like it was laying rubber down.
And the Cup Series heads back to the Oval at Indy.
I love it. I think it's great that we're back on the Oval. That's what we've all wanted as drivers for a little bit now. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it's going to have more meaning than it's had in the past few years.
You can hear more of my conversation with William Byron and our expert Chris Carrier on the Backstretch podcast. You can find that on Apple Podcasts and on YouTube. On the back.
Well, as we head into the weekend, we are looking at a decent chance for showers and thunderstorms each day. It's not going to be raining all day for Saturday and Sunday, but that chance will be there. We start off with a live look here from Metro Center and a relatively quiet night here. Radar's quiet, the sky looking nice and pretty this evening here with some of the city lights in the background, and we'll be pretty comfortable as we drop back into the low 70s for the overnight hours. So stormy pattern expected with temperatures topping off in those upper 80s to around 90 degrees. It won't be quite as hot as what we've experienced, especially earlier in the week. So that's good news. And I really don't see the extreme heat returning anytime soon. For Saturday, temperature around 73 at 8, up to about 83 by 12, and we'll be in those mid to upper 80s by the later part of the afternoon. Better chances for showers and storms will start to move in after lunchtime and then remain off and on throughout the day. We're going to carbon copy that for Sunday, maybe a degree or two difference as far as temperatures go, but overall pretty standard as far as summer pattern is concerned here. Pop-up showers and storms have been around for much of the afternoon to our south, and you can see on radar where more of the moisture is here. We're kind of right on the edge of it right now. I expect more of that moisture to move our direction as we head into Saturday and Sunday, and that means the humidity, unfortunately, will be on the rise. So it'll start to feel more sultry outside, and we hang on to the high humidity in early next week too, I'm afraid. Saturday morning, can't rule out a stray shower. We're going to keep a lot of cloud cover around as we head into the afternoon. We are looking at a couple of moderate to heavy downpours that'll be possible. Really is just going to be a luck of the draw of where you are. Quick heavy pocket of rain, and then it will move on or even dissipate. 4-5 p.m. still looking at scattered showers, and then looking at a mainly quiet night into early Sunday. Sunday morning, maybe a stray shower, otherwise mostly cloudy. Better chances move in the afternoon, and we'll do it all over again here. Mid to late afternoon, a couple showers and storms around. That will clear as we head more into the evening and then into the overnight. Monday, we do have a storm system that'll be arriving from the south and west, so a little more organized chance for showers, storms. But for now, severe weather doesn't appear to be a problem for us, even going into Monday. But a pretty stormy pattern here, so I'd say your chances of rain are looking good if you have not seen rain at your house yet. We're in the upper 80s to around 90 Saturday and Sunday, a little cooler by the middle of next week.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
It's monsoon season in southern Nevada. The heavy rain that fell last night in the Las Vegas area shows it doesn't take much for flash flooding to occur. Rain fell today in San Antonio, and that's a very good thing because the region faces moderate to extreme drought conditions. And check out this massive thunderstorm and rain shaft over St. Augustine, Florida.
Want to see your weather photos and videos on TV? Click Chime In on this station's website to share.
And you can see more stories like this every weekday morning on the National Weather Desk. It's
hopefully when they get here in July, we're ready to roll and have a great familiarity with what we're asking, and we can play fast and get better and have a chance to compete come September.
Titans training camp gets underway in just 4 days, and head coach Brian Callahan is expecting all his players to pick up where they left off in the offseason. Every player was given a summer program to follow, including second-year quarterback Will Levis. Levis took time to hone in on his footwork this offseason and will look to continue that in camp next week. But the most important thing coach wants to see from his quarterback, his urgency.
For him, the most important part is keeping that urgency and tempo and how he plays. You know, keep playing faster, keep playing with more confidence, and that comes with more reps. I really was happy with how he progressed, learning a brand new way of playing football this year, and there's going to be plenty more reps in training camp in the preseason, and the key is to be ready to roll in September playing at the speed that you got to play at.
Coach Callahan mentioned Levis learning a new brand of football. That's the Titans' new look offense. No more run-first offense and no more Derrick Henry. Instead, it will be a pass-heavy offense that will feature a lot of explosive plays. Titans ranked at the bottom of the league last season in total yards and passing yards per game, and they're hoping this new system will change that right away.
A lot of scoring. A lot of the install clips we see is just a lot of explosive plays, efficient plays, touchdowns, and I just feel like it's going to come with reps. Like the more and more reps I get at all these different concepts and stuff, we're going to be able to see more and more of those explosive plays, and when we go out there on Sunday, we'll hopefully put up a bunch of points.
Players will report to camp on Tuesday, and then the very first practice is set for Wednesday. College football season just over a month away, and today the media voted on the SEC preseason poll where Georgia and Texas were picked as the favorites to meet in the SEC championship. Now, this is the first year Oklahoma and Texas are joining the conference, and also the first year that the SEC decided to get rid of the West and East divisions. Now, the two teams with the best records will meet in the championship game in December. So as I mentioned, Georgia and Texas are the favorites by the media poll to play in that championship game. As for the Tennessee Vols, well, they were picked to finish 7th in the conference, and then the Commodores, unfortunately, over here 16th, picked to finish last in the conference, 16 out of 16 teams. As for the Crimson Tide, they will be without legendary coach Nick Saban for the first time in 17 years. And today, the school announced it will be naming the football field after him. The stadium will continue to be called the Bryant-Denny Stadium, but its field will soon be called Saban Field, and that ceremony will take place September 7th. Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
They are one of the most nutritious foods you can eat. I'm Liz Bonus. While you may want to go peach picking, it is just ahead.
Nearly 22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, are partnering with Feed America for the Sinclair Cares Summer Hunger Relief.
In your health news, it's peach season, and nutrition experts say your health, your heart, your weight, and your skin could benefit if you add a few to your menu. Fox 17 medical reporter Liz Bonus shares a few hidden health benefits that you may not even know about.
Hey there, everybody. Hello to you. They are one of the most nutritious foods you can eat. And if you need the perfect excuse to go pick them, it's the perfect time to do that, just for the health of it.
Look at this mother load. Look at that. Look at that. Wow.
The first health benefit, just being out among the peach trees.
Plus, it's just an absolutely one of these glorious days that you only get maybe 10 times a year. And I don't know, God just blessed it. It just makes me feel wonderful.
As friends Paulette Hogan and Bonnie Fant know, those who spend time outdoors have better mental health.
So, have you always loved peaches?
Yeah, I'm a food person, I guess.
Second health benefit to peach picking, the peaches themselves.
There's just nothing like them. When they're fresh, they're good. They're real good.
When you eat peaches, there are natural nutrients in the colors, flavors, and textures of these foods. They are called phytonutrients.
A little crunchy.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
Right, one day. Those nutrients can only be found in foods with brighter colors. The USDA says they help fight off long-term illnesses such as heart disease and give you vitamins the skin and the organs really need for nourishment. What's different about them when they're fresh like this?
Taste.
Third health benefit, peaches may help boost body and gut immunity. They are full of fiber. Fourth, as Luke McGlasson of Kentucky's McGlasson's Farm knows, the perfect peach.
You don't want the peaches like so thick that they're all touching each other down the limb. You want some space in between each peach. Give them room to grow, and so they're not all competing for the same nutrients.
Can also help with weight control. The NIH says that they work against what's called insulin resistance. It's been linked to less belly fat. Finally, if you're an allergy sufferer, lab studies show that peaches may also help reduce histamine release in the blood. That's that inflammatory response that makes you miserable when you have allergies. With your health news, I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
All right, heading into the weekend, a few showers in the forecast, maybe storms?
Yes, we'll look at showers, thunderstorms scattered across the area. Definitely a summer pattern where most of these are popcorn variety, meaning that